So yeah, continuing our discussions about Donald Trump's presidency, his second term, and its growing authoritarian leanings. Um, some would characterize it as fascist, but that's, I guess, in the eye of the beholder. We'll see which way it goes. I mean, he's got people like Bannon in the background. I mean, that so-called alt right, right, alternative right, with their alt facts, alternative facts. Those kind of people, I'm not even sure they're in the game anymore. Um, they're speaking from the sidelines. Um, and unfortunately, one of their members was recently shot and killed. The Charlie Kirk guy, who was very closely associated with Steve Bannon's, I don't know what you even call that, uh, podcast, I guess. He's got, you know, video thing open and video feed open, and they're just talking all kinds of nonsense. So, I mean, that was going on. But, yeah, so up to this point, talking about Trump's presidency, second term type, we've talked about number one, where he's totally bashing law firms who defend clients that he doesn't agree with. So he's interfering with the third area of government, the judiciary, Article 3. Um, he should not be threatening anybody who is defending somebody as an attorney in the court system. But I mean, this is Donald Trump. I mean, he's the guy that what did he call up the guy from? He called up the guy from Georgia and said, "Where's my what was it, 13,000 votes? I don't even remember the number, but he's just like, find me the number so I win the election so I can steal it." And he's on tape, he's on phone, or somebody's made a statement under testimony that he actually said that. I mean, this is what Trump does. I mean, he's got a whole history of court documents that you can easily probably Google, or for Freedom of Information Act type of thing, check out. But I don't think you have to do that anymore. I think someone's already done that, and it's on the internet. He's got crazy trials that have occurred in the past, where he's just like being accused of the most outrageous things, like not paying his workers. He talks about all this great building he does, but he's being sued multiple times, I think, because he hasn't paid his contracted workers. He just wants to sell the property without paying the people that actually did the work. That's and then he's no longer allowed to set up a charity because apparently the funds were misappropriated. So they're telling him basically, you're illegally using a tax status and please no longer do that. And then what else? Oh, well, let's not talk about the multiple times he's been accused of sexual assault and sued for it, paid for it, or whatever. I mean, it just goes on and on. I mean, this is the guy that the religious right, all these religious people are in love with. He's an instrument of God, they say. Are you kidding me? A guy that's been accused multiple times of sexual assault. And let's keep it real. That's not like he just grabbed a titty or something. Generally, what that means is that he was accused of rape. And that's what he's been accused of. And in one case, he's been found guilty of claiming that the woman is lying about it. In other words, a jury said, we believe that she was sexually assaulted by Donald Trump, and you can't come out and say that it's a lie and she's a liar. And then he continues to do it, so he keeps getting fined. I'm surprised he hasn't, well, it must have been done in state court, because otherwise he'd have pardoned himself. Because he pardoned all these people who feloniously assaulted the Capitol, beat the shit out of cops right in broad daylight. And then at the time, I mean, Fox News was saying, well, these aren't real Trump supporters. This is Antifa, which is a non-existing entity. But that's what they always like to say. Oh, this was the left that did that. No. That riot, that felonious, violent, anti-American riot that happened on January 6th, incited by then President and now President Donald Trump, was done by MAGA supporters. I mean, look at the guy who's hanging out in the middle of the Senate or the House chamber, whichever chamber it was, with the horns. I mean, that guy is MAGA. That's who you want making policy, or who you want your president supporting most? It's time to get real, folks. Donald Trump, he was always an idiot. He was always a liar. And now I firmly believe, based on his statements, that he's suffering from Alzheimer's. And just look what he did in Japan, where he walked around during the inspection of the troops. That is some crazy nonsense. And it needs to be called out. So we'll talk more about here in the U.S. under Donald Trump, term 2. Have a good night.